It's goal time. Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started. Goals, that is what we are going to be talking about for the month of September. And I will start out with the quote of the day. Excuse me. Healthy competition. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Surround yourself with people who are bringing their A game, and you will want to bring your A game too. Yeah, surround yourself with people that you want to be like. Don't be the smartest person in the room. We talk about this stuff all the time. There is an article that I wanted to share with you about goal setting and why it is so important. So this is an article from Lifehack from July of this year, and it talks about how goals guide and align our focus. It's hard to get where you want to be in life if you don't know what you're aiming for. Some people believe avoiding goals means living a more carefree life. Without goals, we lack a degree of direction and focus, though. So sure, you may be able to avoid disappointment, but just avoiding disappointment doesn't mean you are necessarily happy. Your goals can sometimes help you create mental barriers or blinders that help you to remain focused on what you think is important and avoid the things that are second priority. What are we talking about here? We're talking about distractions. Your goals can help you block out distractions. When you outline goals for yourself, you are better able to avoid things that distract you from achieving and accomplishing your goals. Hello, social media. Yes, that's right. Now, a lot of us have big hopes and dreams. I sure hope that you do. It's one of the things that make our lives exciting, right? But a lot of us never take the time to figure out how we can effectively get from point A to point B. So, sadly, we never fully achieve those goals. We often look at our dreams and convince ourselves that only a select few people ever achieve them. So we write ourselves off as people not meant to reach that level of success. Now, looking at the end product of a goal can be intimidating, daunting, and discourage us from even pursuing them. Yeah, it can feel very overwhelming. But goal setting helps us break large, intimidating goals into smaller ones. These small steps and more achievable goals will help us to build momentum and will encourage us to keep working towards the next phase of our goal. They form the foundation from which we can begin building the life that we truly hope to have for ourselves, our families, and maybe even for our communities, depending on how big your goals are. So, not only does effective goal setting help you break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable ones, but it also encourages you to actually begin taking action on those goals. After all, a plan is completely worthless if you aren't willing to invest the effort required to execute it. If you have a goal without a deadline, you just have a dream. That, my friend, is not a goal. Setting your goals and putting your plan in place motivates you to begin taking action towards achieving them. These goals give you something to plan and work towards. Essentially, they help propel you forward. Goal setting actually motivates you to stop thinking about your goals and actually get out there and achieve them. Woohoo! Yay! It's the cheer section going on right now. So not only does setting goals help you measure your progress, but it's also a means through which you can keep yourself accountable. And this, I believe, is the biggest stopgap when it comes to falling off track to achieve our goals. We are not held accountable. So, We don't always need somebody to hold us accountable. Sometimes we just need a clearer picture of what it is we need to do to be accountable. Now, it's always better to have someone to hold you accountable, but say I have the goal to do 50 push-ups. That's great. Most people would support that goal, right? However, this goal lacks accountability. When do I want to accomplish this goal? What steps do I have to take to get there? These are important questions that the original goal leaves unanswered. A much more descriptive and specific goal could be to do 50 push-ups within the next 3 months by starting at 5 push-ups and then adding 5 each week. This goal outlines the deadline as well as the steps I'm going to take to achieve it. This plan will keep me accountable because if I fail to retain my progression schedule, I will know that I'm not going to achieve the goal on time. The progress you feel as you set and achieve goals can become super motivating and super addicting, but in a good way. The dopamine release you get from achieving your goals is like a little reward for our brains that continually that is, motivates us to try and hit that next goal. Now, you also get a dopamine hit when you plan a goal, when you set a goal. So you get a dopamine hit when you set that goal, and again, when you hit that goal. Unfortunately, the dopamine is missing while you're doing the work to achieve the goal. So look forward to that dopamine hit when you actually do achieve it. Having some clearly defined goals will help you to feel better about yourself and your life in general, especially when you stick to those goals, actively work towards achieving them, and end up accomplishing and surpassing your initial expectations. Additionally, our goals give us an endpoint to shoot for. Rather than progress for progress' sake, you can actually see where you're heading, and that is so much more rewarding. So setting your goals and clearly defining what they mean to you will help you to live a life that is tailored to your beliefs and values. Your life will become directed towards the things that you most wanted to achieve. So life is a tricky game, and only in very rare circumstances are things handed to us on a silver platter. If you've lived a little while, you know that's not really how it works. Often it takes a great degree of work, planning, and execution. So simply put, setting goals helps us live a life that allows us to pursue the challenges and rewards that we truly want to achieve. So, like I said, that was an article that I found from Lifehack. And I just thought this was all such great information. It's a way to explain why goal setting is so important and how they work to get you the life of your dreams, to get you where you want to go in life. And I'm going to tag on to that further with the topic today. You know, it is September, and that always gives us a kind of a sort of automatic reset, you know, like when we used to have to go back to school. We know party time is over, time to get to work. It's a great time to pursue some life-challenging and life-changing goals. But it's this point right here where you actually need some clarity. What does your dream life look like? Where are you living? Who are you with? What are you doing every day that brings purpose and meaning into your life? If you aren't asking these types of questions, then you are not living life to the fullest. If you want a shot at living your dream life, then you have to do the things that will get you there. It's really as plain and simple as that. After you decide on how you want your future life to look, you have to figure out what you have to do in order to get there. Okay, you want a big house that overlooks a lake where all your grandkids can come and play on the weekends. Great. How will you get that? What steps do you have to take in order to purchase that house? Where is it? How much money will it take? Do you have any money set aside for this dream thus far? Is there something that you can sell that will help you get where you want to go? Is there a business you could start or a side hustle that will bring in the money needed? Is there a job you are currently working that may be able to offer you more money than you're making now? Part of the goal-setting process is to anticipate the obstacles you may face along the way, because believe me, there will be obstacles. And the best way to handle them is to know what to do in advance. Now, you can't predict every obstacle that's going to pop up, but you can predict a lot of them. For example, if you want to start eating more healthy in order to lose some weight, have more energy, how will you handle the weekends? Are you in a habit of letting go on the weekends? Because that's what I always do. You won't be able to do that anymore. So when the family comes over and wants burgers and dogs, what are you going to do? Are you going to make them burgers and dogs and go ahead and just give in and have some? Or are you going to say to your husband, why don't you make the dogs and the burgers? I'm going to have this healthy meal over here. We're still all going to eat together and enjoy each other. I'm just going to be eating healthy because I want to stick to my goal. So, are you traveling? Figure out what you can eat on the road that won't totally derail your new habits. If you know advance where you're going, look around where you're staying. Where are there some places that you can go to get some healthy options, not just fast food and burgers and fries? What about the holidays? Any particular holiday coming up? Will you try to eat healthy on that day? Or will you take the day off and just enjoy? Because that's okay too. That is totally okay. Just be prepared. So what I would like to go over is how to start your Monday off primed and ready to tackle your goals. Instead of waking up on Monday morning and dreading all that you have to do this week, what if instead you could be grateful that you have the opportunity to live your week as you choose? You can do what needs to be done, work, what have you, while working on what you want to get done in order to further your goals. From my good buddy, Brendan Burchard. Now, I don't really know him, but it comes to things that will make your week go well. Brendan Burchard is the founder of an app called Growth Day, and he does what he calls a daily fire every single day, talking to you about self-improvement and how to attain goals and make your life better and all kinds of different things. And you do have to pay for the app. And it is very, very educational. It's very informative. I happen to think it's worth every penny. So if you want something that will give you a little pep in the morning every single day, check out Growth Day and see the different options that they have. So from Brendan Burchard, the first thing you have to do is to, name your goals. Name those goals at the start of the week. Okay, you've broken down the big goals, and now they're in little manageable pieces. So what pieces are you going to achieve or work on this week? Will it get you closer to that dream life you've described earlier? Because that is the goal. Don't do things that won't get you closer to your goal. Sometimes we often think that, we have busy work and we think that we're actually doing something. But when you sit down to start doing something, ask yourself, will this bring me closer to my goal? Next, mark out some block time to get that work done. Do you have to work 9 to 5? Then maybe you can dedicate an hour before work to pursuing your goals, or an hour after work. I know it can be really hard if you are stuck at a desk all day. Trust me, I only worked a 9 to 5 job for a few years, and I absolutely hated it. I felt like there was no time to do anything else. But if your goal is a priority, You will find the time. In fact, you will make the time. Dopamine hit. Make the time. You'll also have to make sure that you have the energy required to get to those goals every day. What did you eat and drink over the weekend? Was it nothing but junk food? Maybe a little too many adult beverages? You likely will not feel at your best. Yes, I know. The weekend is our time. It's our time to party, relax, and just enjoy life a little bit. But when it comes to goals, you need to ask yourself if you are willing to sacrifice a little now to have your dream life down the road. Sleep is another important issue. How much sleep are you getting? I had insomnia for about 20 years. I'm not even exaggerating. I didn't sleep well for the longest time. And, it would go back and forth. Sometimes I couldn't get to sleep at night. Other times I got to sleep right away, but I would wake up like 2 hours before my alarm went off, not be able to get back to sleep. Not until the doctor found something that really solved that problem for me was I able to get a decent amount of sleep. Not waking up in the middle of the night and tossing and turning for 2 hours. I got to tell you, that will drive you absolutely insane if you do that every night for 20 years. I do think it was one of the reasons I was so grumpy all the time. You are just not as likely to be happy if you are always tired. And you definitely don't have the energy you should. So get that sleep. If you have issues sleeping, see a doctor. You guys can figure it out. That's what they're for. This one's a bit of a difficult one, but are you ready? Time to control your emotional responses. What the heck does that mean? Well, first of all, I'm going to warn you, it's going to take a lot of practice. Are you taking things too personally? Do you have a tendency to overreact? These are questions that will help bring your emotional level back to normal. For example, is the boss extra cranky and coming down hard on you today? Maybe she didn't get enough sleep last night for some reason. Maybe one of her kids is sick. Maybe there's a strain on her marriage. Now, that doesn't excuse bad behavior, but doesn't it make you accept it a little better knowing it isn't really about you? It gives you a little empathy. When you're really upset with the way that you are treated, try to come up with a scenario that lets your compassion come in. Like if somebody's tailgating you on the road, they're like, all up on your tail, and you're like, what? I can only go as fast as the person in front of me, And then, at one point they pass you and they zoom, go, they just take off. Maybe they're on their way to the hospital. Maybe somebody in their family is sick and they're trying to get there. There are all kinds of situations that we know nothing about. So let's err on the side of grace. I know it can be hard. Trust me. But it is possible. And finally, relationships. Finding a way to have a great time with the people you spend the most time with. Work is so much better when you can have fun with your coworkers, when you get along with the people you hang out with. Maybe do something nice for your coworkers. Bring in some munchkins, or, bring in your cubicle buddy a cup of coffee from the place that he really likes. Sometimes these little things just go so far. How do you want your personal relationships to look this week? Are you making sure to get quality time in with the family? Is there something you'd like to plan that you can all do together? Would you like to get together with some friends maybe you haven't seen in a while this week? Make it happen. Goals are designed to improve your life, to give you purpose, and to strive towards something you want. That's why they're difficult. If it were easy, everybody would have their dream life. And as we know, that is not the case. But you should always have goals, no matter where you are in your career, how old you are, or what you have already accomplished. You don't have to have big, huge, audacious goals, but you do need to have goals that are going to take you toward the life that you think would make you happiest. As I said, the clarity needs to come in here. Think about the life you truly want to live every day. How are you going to get there? Figure it out. Start breaking down that goal into smaller, workable parts. And then nothing will stop you. That's right. You're just going to be on a tear. So if you'd like some help with setting, pursuing, and achieving goals, hey, I have a program for that. Just visit my website, hopefulist.com, or shoot me an email at thehopefulist1@gmail.com, and we can get started right away. Or you can contact me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all under The Hopefulist. Search me out and give me a follow. Now, go on out there and get those goals going. Get to work, and of course, be badass while you are doing it. You got it in you. I know you do. And I'll be here cheering you on. Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.